Monitor arms are one of the best accessories you can add to a desk. From additional workspace to improved ergonomics, there are a lot of positives associated with them. But just because they have a lot of positives doesn't mean they're perfect. In this video, we're going to be covering the top 7 problems with monitor arms. Confused about office furniture? BTOD TV is your #1 office furniture resource. Subscribe today so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Hey guys, Greg with BTOD TV. Here at BTOD.com, we love monitor arms. In fact, almost everyone uses them, but that doesn't mean that they don't have problems. In today's video, we're going to cover the top 7 most common problems with monitor arms to help you decide if they're a good fit for your needs. I also put a link down in the description for the full post at the BTOD.com Learning Center, which includes some of the solutions and alternatives to these problems should you want to learn more about them. With that, let's get started with problem number 1. Your monitor will require a VESA mounting system. The #1 problem associated with monitor arms is how they actually attach to the monitor themselves, with VESA systems or VESA mounting systems being like a foreign language to many. But this really is just a standardized mounting pattern or mounting system on the back of a monitor that matches the monitor arm, with the most common for computer monitors to be about a 75 by 75 millimeter or a 100 by 100 millimeter pattern. Well, the biggest issue being there is no real consistency in the industry for monitors themselves. And when you go to big box stores such as Best Buy, you'll find that sometimes less than half of the products in the store will actually include VESA mounting. We've also found that Apple products tend to be some of the worst, and this is more specifically with their older products, as new products now have the option to add a VESA adapter plate to your iMac before you actually buy it on their website. Stability is a major problem with monitor arms, and if you follow any of my other content, you know how important and obsessed I am with it with standing desks. It's equally important with monitor arms, and when paired together, I think this can be a big issue for most users. An unstable monitor arm can be distracting and really decrease your work efficiency. Looking at the design of a monitor arm, they almost will always rise up from a post, gas, or spring arm system and will extend out towards you. And the further that they extend towards you, the more they will almost always bounce or shake. And we found that cheaper products will typically have some of the most bounce and shake, especially when compared to high-end alternatives. Low weight capacities of monitor arms can pose a problem, and while it's not as big of an issue as it once was with some of the newer LED designs, if you're using monitors that are 24 inches or larger, it is something that you should definitely consider. It's also a problem for users that will be looking at gas or spring arms compared to maybe some of the post alternatives. Having a monitor or monitors that are too heavy for your gas or spring arm can cause it to slowly sink. And for gas cylinder systems, it could potentially cause damage with an overloaded arm. Monitor width restrictions can really be a problem for users that have monitors that are 24 inches and wider. And this is mostly linked to the panning and the tilting function on the monitor arm itself. These systems operate on ball joints, which can be loosened or tightened depending on a monitor's size. But once a monitor becomes too large and outside of the connection point, this can become an issue. And while ball joints can be tightened to a certain extent, once they start to fail, it will cause the monitor to tilt or pivot on its own. How easily a monitor arm does or does not adjust can be a problem, and there are 5 main adjustments to consider: height, depth, lateral pan, and tilt adjustment. Not all monitor arms adjust the same, with some requiring the loosening of collars or bolts, and this can really become a problem when you're trying to make multiple adjustments throughout your day or for multiple user setups. Introducing multiple monitors can create even more difficulty, with the #1 problem being lining monitors up. Wire management can be a problem for monitor arms, especially if you're extra picky in this area. And if you've seen monitor arm setups with wire chaos, it's likely due to 2 reasons. Either the monitor arm system has a poor wire management or no management at all. It's also important to consider that each monitor on average will have 2 wires, and if we multiply that to 2 or 3 monitors, you could have as many as 4 and 6 additional wires. These wires tend to be a little bit thicker and they're not as flexible, so you need to consider that as they're working within the wire management system on the arm that you choose. Now, even once you get this all perfectly set up, most monitor arms will still leave the wires exposed on their system. The last problem with monitor arms is how they actually mount to your desk, with the two most common systems being a clamp or a grommet system. The first, a clamp system, is a C-clamp that will mount around the back side or the edge of a desk, with a grommet system being almost like a pass-through that passes through a grommet hole in your desk surface, clamping on the bottom and the top. Now, the biggest issue here is that brands or manufacturers typically will only include one type of system. But the problem there is what happens in the future when you decide to go from a desk where a clamp system was good to maybe a more finished look of a grommet, or vice versa. You want to look for brands that offer better flexibility for the future.